nights recalling you, a souvenir of what it could be. Pieces of my mind are yours. I forgot the parts I'm missing. I pretend that we are okay, like nothing's ever broken. And I pretend that we are dancing, like the nights are never ending.
Hey guys, what's up? Xtian here and welcome to another video. Meron ako ditong bagong build guide for those who are seeking to build a back-to-school gaming PC with a budget of either 30,000 or up to 35,000 pesos. Medyo iba to sa previous guides ko considering na nagmahal ng mga computer parts ngayon in just a span of months. Tuturuan ko din kayo saan makakabili ng mura and legit na license for Windows 10 operating system which you can use dito sa build, so stay tuned in this video for that. Pero bago ang lahat, let's have a quick look sa mga parts na napili ko for this build na nasa description din ng video na ito.
For the CPU, I got the AMD Ryzen 5 3500, which is a 6-core, 6-thread processor na may base clock speed na 3.6 GHz and a boost clock speed of up to 4.1 GHz. It is priced at around 7,600 pesos. It also comes with a Wraith Stealth stock cooler, so yun na rin ang gagamitin natin, eliminating the need to buy an aftermarket cooler sa ngayon. You can also get the Ryzen 3 3300X, which is also around the same price range, which features 4-core and 8 threads, and offers almost the same performance, since multi-threading can also benefit most games. On the motherboard, I choose the Asrock B450M Steel Legend, which is priced at around 4,850 pesos, mainly because the chipset can support overclocking if you want to gain more performance from the CPU. Pwede ka rin naman kumuha ng A320 or A520 motherboards if you ever don't plan to overclock anything so that mas makakamura ka pa. Of course, this motherboard has mostly the features you need, as well as ARGB, RGB headers. So okay na rin yun for starters. Next naman is the graphics card, which is the Zotac GTX 1050 Ti. Yes, it's an older card, pero considering the prices of GPU nowadays, this one is still priced now at 10,150. We can settle with this muna sa ngayon. It still performs well at 1080p, although don't expect ultra settings on most AAA games. But just on the playable side naman, as seen with the benchmarks later on. Now on the RAM or memory, I got two pieces of Klevv Bolt X 8GB kit. So bali 16GB for around 4,700 pesos, which will be run on dual channel mode for additional bandwidth and performance. Wala nga lang siyang RGB since usually mas mahal ang mga kits na may RGB lighting. If you don't think that you need much more memory, you can also do with one 8GB stick only so that you can save some money. Pero in my opinion, medyo kulang na din ang 8GB sa ngayon, lalo na kung multitasking ka, especially on heavy web-based work or browsing. That's why I went with 16GB. On the storage, I went with the XPG SX6000 Pro 256GB Nvme SSD, which is much faster than the usual SATA-based SSDs. Although mas mura yung mga ganon in case you want to save some money. The XPG SX6000 Pro features Nvme 1.3 and Gen 3 support, reaching read-write speeds of up to 2100, 1200 megabytes per second respectively. It is also priced at around 2,500 pesos. So you have options na mag-downgrade to either a large capacity but slower SATA-based SSD or higher NVMe one instead, depending on your needs. On the PSU or power supply, we managed to get the FSP Hyper K 600W 80+ white, which is around 2,150 pesos. Mura na considering reputable brand si FSP when it comes to power supplies, which is a component na hindi dapat tinitipid. There's a black cables and a lot of cable connectors, which is more than enough for this build. Lastly, the case. I picked up the Cooler Master Masterbox Q500L for around 2,800 pesos. It can fit up to an ATX motherboard, has magnetic dust filters, and movable I/O mounts depending on the case's orientation. Kung ipapahiga or ipapatayo mo, as well as fully perforated for multiple fan mounting options. There's only one fan included, but you can buy some for an additional price. Now we finished building the PC. Let us proceed naman on installing the operating system, which is in our case, Windows 10. But before that, I'll teach you how to get and create your installation media, which is usually an 8GB or higher flash drive containing the Windows 10 installer. So head on to the Microsoft website using an existing or another PC. Link in the description. Then click nyo yung download tool now under the Create Windows 10 Installation Media. This is free and will let you download the ISO file and create a bootable flash drive na walang kahirap-hirap. Follow the on-screen instructions and select the language. Then Edition, which is Windows 10 Pro, and Architecture, which is 64-bit. Then select your installation media, which is yung blank USB flash drive. Dapat blank ito since ifo-format ng tool yung flash drive. If you prefer, you can also choose to save the ISO in case na gusto mo siyang i-burn on a DVD drive instead. But before we proceed to installation, we may as well introduce kung saan makakabili ng mura and legit na Windows 10 Pro key, which we can use later to activate our Windows 10 installation, which is our sponsor, VIPSCDKey.com. Dito, makakabili tayo ng OEM key na commonly ginagamit ng system builders, which is binded to the device, kaya mas mura kumpara sa retail keys, which are usually expensive dahil transferable ito to another device. So head to the VIP SCDK link below in the description. Click Buy Now, log in or create an account, then on the checkout page, type nyo yung limited promotional code na VIPXC for 30% discount, then click Apply. So until September 1 lang ito. So guys, imagine, ang laki ng masasave nyo dito. 30% off. But still having a legit key for activation ng Windows later on. After September 1, the code will be only for a 10% discount, just like our Xtian code. After nyan, click Pay Now, then choose payment method. Pwede dito PayPal or any Visa Mastercards like yung mga ginagamit ko, GCash or PayMaya. You can also buy other legitimate keys such as Microsoft Office and other applications. Just check out their website. So to see yung activation key, head on sa User Center by clicking the link on the upper right side. Then click nyo yung My Purchase Order sa gilid. Wait nyo lang ma-process. And then, if completed na ang status, just click View Keys, Codes. Save or write the key for use later. Now, install the Windows. Madali na yan, so we'll skip out on that. There's a lot of tutorials meron din dito sa channel natin. And then proceed on to the activation process, which is very simple. Just type in sa search bar, Activation Settings, and then click yung lalabas na option. As you can see, we haven't activated our Windows yet since wala pang product key na naka-install. But if you entered it during installation, it will automatically activate, so no need for this. Pero kung hindi nyo naman nilagay, then click nyo yung Change Product Key and then type nyo yung product key na nabili nyo from VIP SCDK and click Next and activate. If there's no problems, it should activate immediately. Back to the computer. In my opinion, for 30 to 35,000 pesos sa ngayon, I think pwede na itong build na ito for the usual back-to-school online class and entry-level gaming PC with a lot of multitasking power courtesy of the 6-core Ryzen 5 3500 and 16GB of RAM. Video calls and web browsing attending online class should be easy. For gaming naman, solid pa rin ang GTX 1050 Ti despite it being an older card, especially on mid to high 1080p gaming at 60 FPS. Times-wise, since perforated ang case natin and would offer more airflow than the others, medyo okay na din siya, although I don't like the fact na medyo maliliit yung butas sa harap considering the power supply gets its share of fresh air from the front. Like I said before, there are options for each component like downgrades and upgrades. But if you think about the upgrade path for this build, we got you covered na rin. For the CPU, you can go up to Ryzen 5 3600 or even Ryzen 7 3700X without any problems since B450 ang motherboard natin. For the RAM, You can always add another 2 sticks of 8GB for 32GB overall since 4 slot ang motherboard natin, yet we only occupied 2 as of the moment. Although for most users, 16GB is usually enough. Sa graphics card naman, maybe you can also upgrade to an RTX 2060 or any equivalent card without any problems. For the power supply, you'll be good pa rin naman since it is 600 watts. Pero kung gusto mo magpalit ng graphics card higher than let's say RTX 3070, you might as well upgrade your power supply to at least 650 watts. Take note lang na for the 30 to 35,000 pesos, the monitor and peripherals are not yet included, so for the record, this is for the system unit only. Honestly, medyo mahirap pumili ng components ngayon considering that a year ago, the prices were different. Finally, we have some gaming benchmarks for those who are interested in seeing the gaming performance of the build.
Bow thy rule. As thou wilt.